Namaskar. Hello and welcome to P Guru's channel. This is the third leg of our triple header today, and Shekhar Iyer joins me on the post Bihar verdict. We are encouraging you to pose us questions today. We are going to do a little bit of less talk on topics and take more questions from you. So you're welcome to send in your questions. Also, we are bringing this in two formats, portrait format as well as in landscape format. Those of you who are watching it on portrait format, you will see that quality is perhaps better there. Maybe it is a cell phone technology. I don't know what it is, but I encourage all of you, if you have not watched this thing on portrait format, do look it up on portrait format. Let's welcome Shekhar Iyer ji. Shekhar ji, namaskar and welcome to P Guru's channel. How are you, sir?
Namaskar, Shreya ji. Namaskar. We are meeting after the big verdict.
Yes, indeed.
And nobody, expected anything other thing to happen. But the scale of victory, the scale of win for NDA has in fact surprised a lot of us. A lot of us, including I would say both the BJP and the JDU, because the kind of faith that the voters of Bihar have reposed in this combination, in NDA, the leadership of Nitish as well as Prime Minister Modi. I think this is indeed a very, very historic victory. At the same time, people are asking what is going to happen to the opposition. Why have they come to such a pass? And why people of Bihar are no longer willing to believe the Lalu clan? Why are they not taken in by the promises made by Tejaswi, including promising within 20 days to issue government orders for one job to be provided to each family? People didn't take it. And also, how empowered women of Bihar, are deciding the course of Bihar politics. This is also a very unique thing that has happened in the last 20 years, where Nitish Kumar has empowered women of Bihar, whether it in the panchayats or as an average person, an average woman, in terms of special schemes, in terms of other things, other deliveries. That has also had a huge impact on this election. So we'll talk about all this, but the first question is, how did Nitish and Modi, in fact, now there is a new term, people are talking of Ni-Mo effect, that is Nitish Kumar and Modi effect. How it has happened. Nemo effect. So first it was Namo, now it is for Lok Sabha it was Namo, now it is Nemo. Now, well, I think the basic thing that is coming across is Bihar election has always been a question of caste identities and caste assertions and subaltern and push of the marginalized trying to move to the center stage. This has been the story since the Mandal made a big change to politics of Bihar as well as to our national politics. So that has been on course. But one thing is clear, sir. People often, we journalists, when we talk about politics, we always use this term, public memory is short. In the sense, people tend to forget a party if it has been out of power for 10 years or so. We forget their past misdeeds, past acts of commission and omission. But not in the case of people of Bihar. They have not forgotten, what came to be infamously called the Jungle Raj, when Lalu and his wife Rabidi together ran Bihar for 16 years till 2005, when they finally somehow got rid of a government that was known for encouraging kidnappings, for ransom, for rape of women, for all kinds of things that were happening. People recall whenever there was a family wedding in Lalu's clan, the RJD leaders would just walk into the car showrooms and walk away. Just drive away with the new cars, saying we are having wedding in the family, and those cars would never return to the showroom back, and no one would dare ask a question. Now, this was the kind of thing was initially praised by some people who saw, well, the marginalized sections were rising, so these are aberrations. This will have to be not taken seriously because the OBCs were finding place. They have come into the government. This was the kind of justification offered. But at the ground level, it was all about lumpen elements managing the show. And forcing the bureaucracy, forcing the police to do their dictates. But now, when you look back, when you see what has happened in Bihar, there is still the old wounds, old memories which people don't want to go back. And that is one big reason why Nitish, despite being in office for such a long time, 20 years, and Nitish performance in the last 5 years has not been, there has been a lot of diminishing returns in terms because of his health condition, and also the fact that there was a feeling that it was somehow the government was losing steam. But yet, the normally an anti-incumbency that would have pulled any chief minister down did not affect him, because they still felt he was an honest man trying to do honest job. And Bihar definitely had changed in the last 20 years, and they would not let him go because they did not see a credible alternative in Tejasvi or in the so-called opposition alliance. We discussed in several of our past shows the kind of the drama that was going on about ticket distribution, seat sharing, and Rahul imposing his own vote chori, vote adhikar yatra, and talking about theft of votes, which did not actually have any impact on Bihar, because that was not an issue before the people. Yes, Election Commission undertook a special intensive revision. Despite Congress trying to whip up fears over names being cut and all that, by and large, it turned out to be a good exercise, and a lot of from the electoral rolls, a lot of the dead were removed, and a lot of bogus people who no longer stayed, but on whose name voting would take place, they were all removed. So consequently, you had a better voter list, and more people turned up to vote. That's why you saw an historic voting percentage. I mean, close to 65%, which is historic by Bihar standard. So there were several things that happened, but Rahul went on, dragging his main partner also, Tejasvi Yadav, to back this vote chori thing, which did not resonate on the ground. That's one. And the second thing is, sir, by the time Tejasvi took charge of the opposition campaign and tried to bring back the issues of unemployment, of migration of labor, the farmers' difficulties, which are a perennial problems of Bihar. Because even despite Nitish 20 years, they have found it very difficult to attract investment in Bihar. Though central government, particularly the Modi government, has been trying to bring a lot more industries to Bihar and try to provide a kind of a skill kind of reskilling people. But despite all that, in terms of investment coming in, has not been what they would have expected. But right now, what we are seeing is, with the kind of agenda NDA went to the people, they did not see, apart from the 10,000 rupees that was promised on the part of the Chief Minister's Yojana for women, there was no kind of handouts. Or rather, the promise was to create an environment, to create a situation where the youth would get better quality education, they would get some stipend, and women, of course, they would get 10,000 rupees per month, and that people say is the big game changer. And matching with that, Tejasvi said, we'll give you 30,000 rupees. But it just didn't work. And sir, bigger thing is, I think there has been a debate about the impact of prohibition in Bihar. Because when Nitish brought prohibition, when he came into office, it was a very difficult move, because he had to forego nearly the 3,000 to 4,000 crore of revenue, excise revenue that could come. If he decided to forego that amount, because women of Bihar have been victims of alcoholism of their husbands, of their menfolk, and it was playing havoc in an average Bihari life. So when he imposed ban, the sheer gratitude that women felt for Nitish Kumar has carried him even today. And today also, sir, Prashant Kishor's party promised to lift prohibition, saying it had breeded corruption, illicit liquor was available, and I mean, if you were willing to spend, you could get a liquor delivered at home despite prohibition. Something often people say about even Gujarat. But the fact is, liquor, because of prohibition, it was not so easily available to people who would not obviously bribe a system to get a quarter. So therefore, it was this move of the the continuation of prohibition, despite revenue loss for Bihar government, as a commitment from Nitish Kumar in order to ensure domestic peace and harmony, because that that completely changed the life of these women. Because over 20 years, a lot of men gave up drinking because drinks were not available easily. It's another story that some sections managed to have an access through corruption or whatever or paying a bribe. But to a large section of poor people, liquor was off the shelf for them. And that meant the men folks brought money home, and women were beginning to see a big impact in their lives. So this time, prohibition was talked of as saying, even Mahagathbandhan was talking of, trying to revisit that subject. And Prashant Kishor openly said, we'll lift the prohibition, and that 4,000 crores or 4,000 odd crores, which could be generated if prohibition was lifted, that would be used to build better schools and colleges, etc., to improve the educational infrastructure. But women particularly decided, no, nothing of it. They believed in Nitish. They were in fact worried about his health, because the Mahagathbandhan even ran a campaign on Nitish health, saying that he is not going to be CM. He won't be CM because the CM will be, BJP will put somebody else. Nitish will be removed. But people felt that Nitish had to continue because they didn't see an alternative. And the fact that behind Nitish is Prime Minister Modi, this combination, NIMO, this double engine, if it has, whether it worked in other states or not, but definitely in Bihar, it was seen as a kind of a guarantee. Because Modi deliberately did not use the same thing which he had used in other elections. Modi ki guarantee. He didn't talk about Modi guarantee. All he said was NDA is committed to giving. But it was in effect meant Modi guarantee, that whatever India has promised in its manifesto would be implemented. That also went in a long way. And other important thing, sir, what is coming across now is that these both BJP and Janata Dal agreed to contest 101 seats each, and gave away the rest to other parties who brought in a lot of social votes, rather social alliance. So therefore, NDA was not just an alliance of political parties. It was an alliance of social communities. And that gave a big boost, because in the case of Mahagathbandhan, it was the same MY factor, or the same social base, that is Muslim Yadav social base, a base on which both RJD, of course, completely depended on it. So did the Congress. So did the other parties, including the left. So with that base remaining stagnant, the NDA could easily reach many more seats. Of course, since the results have come, some of our secular friends have been trying to point out that there is some gadbad. Gadbad in the sense, one gadbad they are trying to say is that when the Election Commission had declared the number of voters after September 30th, between that figure and finally, when they issued a press release after the voting was cast, the number of voters had gone up by 3 lakhs. So they were wondering, where did this 3 lakhs come? But the fact is, Election Commission allows registration of voters even 10 days before election. And January, they would have, people have been added. Every year they are added. And those who got left out could also add their names. And that was even before the election. They had said, look, this is our latest figure between September and now. Because people are trying to cast aspersion, saying, where did this 3 lakh vote come? Keeping with this Rahul's kind of logic. So these are those additional voters. This is the vote chori. But that didn't work. So the other point is, which people are again saying, that RJD, managed to retain its vote percentage, that is 23%. And whereas, they managed, but then it did not win, it won only 25 seats. So there is something wrong, to suggest. But the fact is, RJD contested 143 seats. BJP and JDU contested 101 seats each. If you contest a large number of seats, you are putting up candidates in 143 constituencies. Obviously, your vote in all these constituencies will add up to that percentage. That will show. But that doesn't mean you are winning that many seats. So this argument has also been going on, sir. Basically, there is a deliberate effort to show that this is not a big win at all, or there is some gadbud in this win. But that doesn't appear to be the case. Sir, other thing is, I mean, the point that I talked of, both the alliances are supposed to be social alliances. Now, if you take Mahagathbandhan alliance, sir, they could not, I mean, if you look at those figures, that Mahagathbandhan alliance, even in the Lok Sabha elections of last year, they got the total vote they got was 40.1% Mahagathbandhan. And this time it has dropped to 37.3, which is inclusive of this 23% of RJD. Whereas in the case of NDA, the figures have gone up because they got this time 47.2 as against Mahagathbandhan's 37.3. So there is a difference of 10 percentage points between the Lok Sabha elections of 24 and this Bihar elections. That's one. And other thing, sir, what is coming across, though Mahagathbandhan was also a social alliance, but that social alliance had remained stagnant. There was no addition of new social base. Though they have brought in Mukesh Sahani, Vikashshil Insan Party, that is VIP, he said, I am bringing in Dalits, I am bringing in Mahadalits, and you would have seen that picture of Rahul jumping into a water body, trying to catch fish, the company of this Mukesh Sahani, who was projected as the deputy CM candidate. And Mukesh Sahani himself did not contest election. And what did we see? That there was no accretion in terms of those social base votes. On the other hand, if you see the NDA, sir, NDA side is very interesting. Sir, if you look at composition of these communities and their votes, like Kurmis, to which Nitish Kumar belongs, he is just 3%. Kurmi votes are 3%. Kushwahas, 4%. Paswan, 5%. I mean, total votes. And Mushiaris, that they are considered a Mahadalit community. At one time used to hunt for rat for food. Now, they are 3%. Then Mallas. Mallas are people who do fishing, who have fish farms, fish ponds, and they are about 2.6%. On the other hand, you have Yadav community, which is 14% as per the latest social survey that Nitish Kumar government had done, and then 18% are Muslims, and 10% Hindus who do not belong to these OBC category or Dalit category. So they would consist of Brahmins, your Thakurs and Bhumiyars. They are 10%. Now, if you look at these figures, that between Yadavs 14% and Muslims 18%, that itself should have been 32% straight away. That is not the figures we have. So, because definitely there has been changes in Muslim vote also. In Simhanchal region, sir, Simhanchal region, what did we see? That Muslim vote got split in three ways. One, of course, went to the Gathbandhan because they have been traditional supporters of RJD. But then a large portion also went to MIM. Because MIM has been at it since the last election. Last election, they won 5 seats. And Lalu broke that party, bringing 4 people to join RJD. And this time, OWC wanted to be part of the Gathbandhan. But Lalu did not even grant an audience. So what happened? And then Prashant Kishor's Jan Swaraj party, they put up a number of Muslim candidates. So here in the NDA side, each of these, because this time Chirag Paswan of the Lok Shakti Jan Party, Lok Shakti Party, they were, this time he was part of the alliance. In 2020, he had put up, Chirag Paswan's party put up candidates against all the 243 seats, and he damaged JDU. But his party did not win it. But this time, as an obedient son of NDA, he joined, he praised Nitish Kumar's leadership, and he was part of this alliance. Similarly, you had Upendra Kushwaha, you had Jiteram Maji, which is the Boshiari community, representative Boshiari community. So, in terms of social alliances, this alliance, the India alliance, was also more broad based, whereas the Mahagathbandhan thing had shrunk. So, if you look at the overall picture in terms of personality, leadership of Nitish and Modi, thumbs up. In terms of promises delivered earlier, thumbs up. In terms of new promises, there is a lot of confidence, again, thumbs up. In terms of larger representation to the social structure, again, thumbs up for NDA. So all the boxes were ticked right in the case of NDA, whereas in the case of Mahagathbandhan, Tejaswi could not match the personality of Nitish, and despite having served as deputy CM in two phases under Nitish Kumar when they were together, when Lalu and Nitish were together, he could not cut a mark. And that image of the Lalu clan, the image of the RJD and their rule, 16 years rule, that pulled down Tejaswi. And of course, the Congress failed miserably. They bargained hard, they contested 62 seats, but they could not even win more than even half a dozen seats than Congress. And again, they are making the same noise, vote chori, our votes were stolen. It happened because Election Commission did some mischief, which means you are going to get more of the same from the Congress, and people are going to take less of that. Eventually, they will take every election, they'll take less of it. And left parties, sir, this is very important. Left parties in Bihar, they used to win. If they contested 26, they would win 23. But this time they have gone down. They could win only 2 seats. And despite the fact that CPI-ML, Marxist-Leninist, it has its own pockets of strength. Now, what happened there was left parties depend in Bihar again in that marginalized section. Dalits and Mahadalits and those sections. Now, those sections with Paswan coming this side, with the NDA, those votes also came to NDA, not even to the left party. Now, this is the scenario at the ground level, and also Nitish, the face of the alliance, which was largely accepted. These are all everything. It appeared as if they had a recipe for success. And people decided, particularly women voters, who played a very big part, they decided it has to be Nitish again. Now, against which you didn't see Rahul's campaign much. Even Tejaswi, I'm told, after the first phase of poll, he probably got a feed that things are not up to the mark. So he excused himself from some constituencies, citing the weather condition. Whereas Nitish went by road despite not being in a pink of health. So if you compare all this, there are big lessons happening. Big lessons coming to, Congress particularly, Rahul Gandhi particularly, Tejaswi particularly, which the old formulas don't work anymore. And if leader like Rahul Gandhi continues to waste the time and energy of his party on issues like vote chori and all that, which do not resonate on the ground. Nobody ever believed that in Bihar, you can simply knock off people from the list and people would keep quiet. And a point which Supreme Court pointed out about the challenge, petition challenge, the SIR came, they said, where are the people whose names have been struck off the rolls? Where are they? To the lawyers, high profile lawyers who represented the Congress on this matter, they said, look, you are arguing their case, but where are the victims? No complaint was filed at the booth level, nothing was done at any level, and these all brought down the morale of opposition. Sir, one more thing. This morning, I happened to speak to some Congress leaders from Bihar who are terribly upset in manner in which the in the manner in which Rahul left it to his aides to distribute tickets, and they are openly saying that some of the people involved, and some of them are members of parliament, close to Priyanka Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi, these people indulged in corruption. They took money and they gave it to whomever they felt like, or to the highest bidder, I suppose. And there is a terrible feeling. Even, sir, people are telling me a senior congressman like Tariq Anwar, his recommendation for a candidate was not respected, because there in that constituency also the highest bidder got it. Now Congress is not going to sit and talk about it, and BJP was, they were flagging every issue, including the way Rahul Gandhi described Chhat Puja. He said this is a drama. Immediately BJP caught on. Those didn't go well down with the people of Bihar because, sir, and he was making fun of arrangements made for people to observe Chhat Puja in Delhi and other places, where people were seeing that government was attempting to do all it can to provide facilities for the devoted, to offer their praise to Surya Bhagwan, that is the Chhat Puja, which coincides with our Skanda Shashti in Tamil Nadu. Now, this is a kind of scenario which shows if, and also, sir, one thing you notice, Congress victory in elections where it has been alliance, when the main party does well, the Congress is able to do well. And sometimes it can pull down also. But if the main party fails, as in this case, then Congress collapses completely. Now, this is an eye-opener, as said. The question is what implication it has for the next round of assembly elections in Bengal, in Tamil Nadu, in Kerala. Of course, Assam, I think, is typically a different thing, where Congress has suffered organizationally over a period of time. And even in Bihar, sir, people keep saying, where is the organization of the Congress? Everybody is a part-time lover in Congress there. There is no, only election time they talk of, bargaining, hard bargaining, getting number of seats. And when it comes to ticket distribution, I just described what the Bihar Pradesh Congress leaders are saying. So given this kind of scenario, it was quite a hopeless situation. So on one side, you find there is so much of work being put in right from selection of candidates, identifying issue in each constituency, and then writing a manifesto which shows the intent and purpose of this coalition. So this is the kind of the first impressions that are coming, and that shows that despite being with all that, people trying to prop up particularly our secular liberal friends, trying to prop up Gadabandhan, the ground did not support it. And third thing, sir, the question is Prashant Kishor. Prashant Kishor, a strategist turned leader. Everybody thought that he would, yes, he managed to, he secured 3.5% vote. But in terms of, he could not even win a single seat. Of course, the first reason, like we discussed in our last show, he completely pulled out of the race. Earlier, he said he would contest the election. He decided not to contest. That acted as a dampener, and many candidates of his party felt, if the leader is not contesting, what is the question of, where is the question of our doing well? That's one. Number two, Prashant Kishor brought a model, sir, which the model was full-time paid party workers. Party workers who were paid a salary every month. So that created a lot of buzz. He hired a lot of internet warriors to push his party's case. Yes, and he also took up issues and campaigned in a manner which did attract young minds. But finally, when it came to the polling day, they felt that they would rather go with the trusted face, that is Nitish, rather than try out new experiments like Jan Swaraj Party. Sir.
Thank you so much, sir. And there are lots of important takeaways. Again, I'm looking at it from the big picture, Shekharji. When you are an incumbent running, fighting elections, it was said that performance is a necessary condition. And what else do you take up that resonates with people? That is what is needed to win. My guess, sir, after looking at what has happened in Bihar, is that performance has a much bigger percentage in making people convinced that, look, these people have really done good for us and they are going to continue to do good for us. And see, there's also osmosis, Shekharji, from UP. As they can see the torrid development there, Biharis will also be seeing that. And that tells them, okay, so there are things coming and we need to do a little bit more. Sir, I'm also hearing that there are fewer Biharis now outside of Bihar, workforce wise. It is more Jharkhand we are seeing in South India. Jharkhand we see, Odisha we see, and of course the others from West Bengal and beyond. That's another problem. They are so obvious, Shekharji, they point and buy stuff in the stores. They don't even speak Hindi, sir. So
Yeah.
One small thing, sir, and then I'll rest. I'm wondering if NDA in Tamil Nadu should go bold and say we'll bring back prohibition, we will get rid of drugs, drug-free, wine-free, or whatever you want to say, liquor-free Tamil Nadu. This might resonate with people, sir, especially the women folk, because in Tamil Nadu, it also has hurt the labor force because they get too drunk, they start drinking from the morning itself, and they go and beat up their women. Sir.
Well, sir, prohibition, it's one area where the state governments don't want to lose revenue. And in states like Tamil Nadu, the revenue is much more than what has been envisaged in Bihar. That's one. So I can't see prohibition, they're going near prohibition. Sir, MGR government, you remember, they brought prohibition and then, it was always a difficult subject. It had to be diluted and then withdrawn.
Sir, you are not saying the important thing there, sir. He and JPR made a lot of money. Kalacharayam.
No, sir, the point. Sir, it is still now two things that have been kept out of GST is one is your petrol and diesel, and the other is alcohol.
Yes.
The state finds it, that's the only revenue, and some states are their revenue is like 30,000, 40,000 crores. So they were not willing to give up. So that is one. And of course, they keep saying that is the revenue we use for development. Of course, it seems odd that you have to push sale of liquor to earn revenue for development, to build schools. I mean, the whole irony of it. I mean, so that is one thing, and the other is, sir. So Bihar migration is still an issue. Sir, migration is very much an issue, and this time what happened, sir? The date of polling, both November 6th and 11th, this came soon after the Chhat Puja. The political parties insisted, interestingly, they were insisting you hold it soon after Chhat Puja. Whereas the Election Commission felt that holding it soon after would actually cause dislocation. But the political parties wanted, since people come home for Chhat Puja, they can stay and vote and then return. And that is what many Biharis did. So this jump, people have been talking as to why did the voting percentage go up this time? Because normally, sir, the election always take place between Dashra and Diwali. But this time it happened after Diwali, close to Chhat Puja, just after Chhat Puja. That's what political parties wanted. So this is which means because of special intensive revision, more and more people became conscious of their voting rights. And they were so happy to see that they had that right, because when they checked the electoral rolls, the names are there. So there was no fear of being eliminated. So that made them participate much more. And the migrant labor felt Let us vote for Nitish and go home. I mean, go to our place of work outside, um, outside the state. But at least the government here will be there, which will take care of our families. This sentiment also played a part. And today, sir, Prime Minister went to Surat. And in Surat, which is the home of migrant laborers from Odisha and Bihar who work in the diamond industry and textile industry, Prime Minister made a special mention. He said, I've come to Surat, and every time when we come to Surat and go, if we don't talk about the migrant labor from Bihar or Odisha, particularly the migrant labor from Bihar, लगता है कुछ अधूरा है, something is incomplete. So, sir, Bihar election is over, but Prime Minister continues to pay his gratitude to people of Bihar, whether they are in Bihar or they are in Gujarat. So, this is the approach of BJP party. Sir, after election, political leaders forget them. चुनाव हो गया, इलेक्शन हो गया, वोट आ गई, हम जीत गए, खत्म. Not Prime Minister Modi. He made it a point to say, he says, yes, today I can see a lot of people here, they belong to Bihar and they have done such a wonderful thing. Because they have stopped Jungle Raj returning forever. So you can see that on one hand, you have a party which is, I mean, it never rests. If one election is over, they get ready for the next. Because the next round of elections, the big election again like Bihar is going to be in Uttar Pradesh, 2027. Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Punjab, these go to polls in 2027. And 26 you have got Assam, you have got West Bengal, you have got Tamil Nadu, you have got Kerala. Now these states, the opposition ruled states, they have moved the Supreme Court like it happened in the last time to prevent special intensive revision, which has already started. So the matter is before the court. Again, same questions are going to be asked that were asked in Bihar. They want somehow a direction from the court that elections be held with this rule. But given the fact that intensive revision was carried out in Bihar, and within that two-month window, I don't see how they are going to entertain the opposition request. So cleaning up of electoral rolls also plays a big part, sir.
Shekharji, one thing I don't understand. The Supreme Court has just ruled on SIR in Bihar. Why do they even have to take up another similar case from other states, sir? The ruling stands. Why are they even accommodating this case to be brought up in front of the judges?
Sir, in that case, in Bihar thing is still, it has not been disposed of. They have not, they have not given a verdict. All that they said, they will not stop the SIR. Because they were not convinced, but they have not given a final verdict yet. So the matter is open. Now, but with that stand, the Supreme Court has already taken, as you said, the message is clear. Supreme Court is not going to stop it. Sir, but interesting take of this election results. Stalin's remarks on Bihar results. I don't know why he came out with a statement saying, there is a lesson for us to learn, which is the welfare programs have to be delivered. If you deliver on your promises, you win. I mean, he is drawing lessons from the verdict of Bihar. I thought he would say like the Congress, vote chori ho gayi, ye ho gayi. He didn't say all that. Sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Let's take a few questions. I think we have covered all the things, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Let's take some questions now. Viewers, please send in your questions. We are taking more questions today. Magnet Ranga wants to know, has the Bihar election result dampened a possible political coup by Chandrababu Naidu? Can BJP win in Tamil Nadu and West Bengal next?
Sir, there are two parts to this question. Definitely this has to a large extent reversed the setbacks that Prime Minister Modi suffered in 2024 Lok Sabha elections, which is BJP could not win majority on its own. That is 272 seats. Now, one thing is clear, the Bihar results have such Even if Nitish Kumar wants, he cannot do another flip-flop. Because if you add the JDU's number with the number of other Mahagathbandhan parties, it doesn't come up to 122. I mean, I'm speaking in a hypothetical situation if Nitish Kumar were wanting to do another flip-flop, which means BJP's figure of 89 and other parties which are with the India Alliance is such that even if Nitish wants to shift sides and because of some other situation exists, that will not happen. That is one. Now, after seeing the BR result, I don't think Chandrababu is ever going to entertain any thought of going, because he has said it several times that I made a mistake in joining hands with the Congress in 2018. I'm not going to do that again. So that's a very remote possibility. That's one. The question is, what will be the impact in, as Magnet Ranga has asked, what will be the impact in Tamil Nadu, West Bengal? Now, the West Bengal, again, sir, Mamata's worry is that special intensive revision will unearth a lot of bogus voters, people, dead voters, who continue to vote every 5 years. I don't know whether they rise
grandmother joke. The grandmother joke.
They rise from the grave to vote or descend from heaven. One doesn't know. So that is something that is worrying her. That's one. And number two, if efforts are made and if a lot of foreigners on the list are removed, that will also hurt her. So she will do everything to physically prevent it, but the Election Commission is going to also act very decisively in this case. That's one. Now, Kerala, I see a different scenario, sir. They are also opposing SIR, saying, why should you have to do it now? I mean, it doesn't require, and the elections in Kerala are only next year. April, May. There's a lot of time. This requires only 2.5 months, this SIR. So, therefore, how it will impact in Bengal? Bengal, it will give a boost, and also it will give a lot of strength and energy to the cadres in other states. But the bigger impact will be in Uttar Pradesh, because UP and Bihar, where there are a lot of, in terms of course, caste combination, caste factors, and delivery, which is also a big issue. Just as Nitish has made a mark with his delivery, similarly, Yogi also enjoys a popularity because he has also been delivering on several of his pledges. So Uttar Pradesh will have a big impact from Bihar elections. Sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Next question. Pawan Kishor wants to know, India deserves better opposition. INC is disconnected from ground issues and living in illusion or propaganda politics. Without a strong challenger, we risk edging towards one-party rule.
No, this is a situation created by the Congress itself. We would all want a robust opposition, because a good opposition, a robust opposition, does a lot of good to the system, because it can hold a government accountable. But then to come use fudgy subjects, fake issues, and then say, oh, this is happening, that's happening, and that is not clicking with the masses. People want the opposition to take up real issues and make government accountable. But the Congress has been, they have been inventing issues in the hope that will somehow, shield them from the kind of political mishaps they have been facing. People even counted this is the 95th election that Congress has lost under Rahul Gandhi. And they are saying by the time UP elections happen, they would have lost a few more, and probably they will hit a century of losses. Sir.
Thank you, sir. Next question. Ron Maid wants to know, Raga is already invisible. Meanwhile, what happened to the character called Varun Gandhi, not to be seen at all?
Well, Varun Gandhi has not been, he remains in the BJP, but since he didn't get ticket last election, 2024, there has been not much political activity by him, at least visibly. Now, the question is, if Rahul Gandhi is concerned, people said he was not in the country yesterday, but today he was back, where the senior Congress leaders, including Mallikarjun Kharge and Rahul Gandhi himself, they are supposed to have done a first round of analysis of the outcome. But then we are told he's again leaving abroad before Parliament session. The winter Parliament session starts in the first week of December. Sir.
Akash wants to know why Modi ji is claiming that BJP's next target is only West Bengal. Why not Tamil Nadu? Will they not take any action against corrupt DMK government? Who will save Tamil Nadu?
Sir, people of Tamil Nadu will have to save themselves, because no matter, so much has been said about corruption in Tamil Nadu under this regime. But then we have seen at the time of elections, people fall prey to the lure of cash, and they end up voting the same government, and they don't realize they get the government they deserve because by their action. They don't realize that. But this time, Prime Minister's intention of mentioning Bengal in particular is to show that, and he has also spoken in favor of SIR. And Centre would back up whatever decision the Election Commission takes for purification of electoral rolls in Bengal. And a lot of confrontation is expected. Because Mamata is telling those officials, they are all state government employees who work along with the Election Commission for updation of rolls. She is saying, look, you are a state government employee. Now you may be involved in this work, but then you are going to be back with us. So that kind of intimidatory approach is going on in Bengal. But at the same time, for Mamata, it is a challenge. Challenge because one point coming clear from Bihar elections is you cannot take voter for granted. You may have won previous elections, but at the same time, once people realize that you are all fake and no Didi, they will also pull you down. Because they are all there is a talk that people of Bengal are also looking for an alternative. And then the system has been so corrupted in Bengal, whole political machinery. Sometimes people don't see any hope, even in opposing anything. Sir.
Thank you, sir. Next question, please. Bihari Babu wants to know, why is no one discussing the impact of Operation Sindoor on Bihar elections?
No, sir. Operation Sindoor was, in terms of Operation Sindoor, because neither opposition raked it up. But BJP leaders did mention how after Pahalgam attack, how the armed forces have responded, and also the current situation that is evolving now on the border. Because everybody is saying that, look, a lot of provocative actions are going on, particularly the Red Fort blast, which would need a very, very a severe response in keeping in line with the government's declaration that an act of terror would mean an act of war. So some action will be taken, but then this time the government approach seems to be to get more evidence. Then with the evidence, and if the evidence points to Pakistan, and definitely there will be retributive strikes.
Next one, please. Rohit wants to know, Raga was more of a liability for Tejaswi. Tejaswi performed better than the whole Congress. Are we looking at a major split in the Bhindi alliance? Shekharji are heading towards a pseudo-democratic government?
Sir, one thing is clear. The Prime Minister made it a point in his victory speech yesterday that Congress is headed for a split. People are deeply unhappy with the way the party has been functioning. True Congress workers say that this is not the party we associated with. What we are seeing is a very pathetic situation where the leadership is not willing to acknowledge the difficulties, instead creates a phantom of this vote chori and things like that, which do not resonate on the ground. And our leaders are all part-time lovers. They are available as and when they feel like, otherwise they are not visible, the top leadership. So there is so much of resentment. Prime Minister ventured to say that Congress is headed for another split. And there was not even a denial to that effect from Congress leadership. You are already seeing many leaders are very restive. Be it Shashi Tharoor or other leaders, they say, look, what's going on? I mean, why is our party like this? Why do we take up issues? And sir, I am told some of the leaders who were campaigning in Bihar, one Congress leader from Bihar told me today, they were sending people who, when they open their mouth, at least 10,000 votes would shift to NDA. Such leaders were sent as star campaigners. Sir.
Mania Phobia wants to know, is it the first time big win for poor farmers, youth, women, and the reorientation of the British caste system? I don't know what he's asking here. Sir, if you understood.
Yeah, no, what he's saying essentially is that this caste system itself, there is a view that this was encouraged by the British as part of the divide and rule, just as proportional representation for Muslims and things like that. Well, definitely it's a first time in the sense the last time such a big mandate was given was in 2010. This time it is much bigger than that, which goes to show people voted on the basis of performance. And if this is the basis in a state like Bihar, because Bihar will always present you with a situation where you feel much more needs to be done.
Yeah.
The more you do for Bihar, it always leaves you feeling this is not enough. More we have to do. If in that state you don't see anti-incumbency, rather you see a pro-incumbency, that's a very big thing. Sir.
Next one, please. Sai Raghavan wants to know, Bihar gives a large part of army population. The Narendra Surinder surely didn't go well with the Fauji families.
No,
Surrender.
sir, the attack. No, I can understand. So, criticism of the Prime Minister sometimes below the belt comments. We saw during the Rahul's Yatra also. And subsequently, that has not helped the opposition alliance. I mean, people feel that okay. I mean, there may be. There may be good reasons for being critical of Modi government, but at the same time, they don't like below the belt kind of attacks and comments and things like that. And if such comments come within no time, you find BJP taking full advantage of it. Sir.
Next one, please. Krishnamurthy wants to know, Rahul Gandhi's Midas touch is the reason for MGB's stellar performance. Rumor is Lalu is looking for him with a chappal in hand. Is this why Rahul has gone abroad?
No, sir. Lalu, I mean, you can already, the family is imploding now. Lalu's family is imploding. Rohini Acharya, his daughter, the one who gave him a kidney transplant, she has today disowned her family. And she has been complaining against a person called Sanjay Yadav, who is a Rajya Sabha MP belonging to Haryana, but a Rajya Sabha MP from Bihar, and a close associate of Tejashwi, who has been playing a big role in our journey, much to the resentment of other leaders. And Rohini Acharya has been speaking against him. And today she came out with a statement saying that I'm disowning my family. Which means, obviously, these results have created so much of internal tension within the Lalu's family. Already Lalu's eldest son, Tej Pratap, he formed his own party. Sir.
Next one, please. Ashok TRY wants to know, why is BJP not challenging the allegations of electoral fraud by Congress instead of making fun of it on social media?
Sir, what is there to challenge? They are coming up with complaints. And the only aspect BJP has been commenting is that Election Commission has stolen the votes for you. And you are influencing. But the whole question is, Congress decided not to take this complaints to court. All these hydrogen bomb business, dynamite, this, that, Rahul has been announcing, but none of the Congress party itself decided. Rahul Gandhi decided that we won't go to court on this. Rather, we would keep a campaign that will raise a question mark on the system. But we won't go to court because they know that if they go to court, probably their case won't stand. Merit. Stand on merit, I mean. Sir.
That brings us to a close of today's program. Shekharji, what a session it was, sir. 55 minutes just flew. And we'll be back with Shekharji on Wednesday night, same time. Namaskar, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.